Stories have to be told or they die, and when they die, we can't remember who we are or why we're here. From Sue Monk Kidd and the Secret Life of Bees. Welcome to This Is My Story, a Lenten journey of stories from the worshiping community of Bexley United Methodist Church. I am your host, the Reverend Becky Pyatt. I pray that through our stories you may find hope, connection, peace, and joy. May God bless you on your own Lenten journey as you listen to the story for today.
Hi, I'm Barbara Chuko. I just was in church today, and the sermon made me be able to focus and think about what to tell for my story. And it was, why are you here? And there are lots of reasons why I'm in the church, because it's been very helpful to me in many ways, and me and my family. Especially when my son became ill over 20 years ago, had a severe mental illness, and I was feeling really overwhelmed, alone, not knowing what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and everything. I did, and the church was very helpful, along with the National Alliance on Mental Illness and their classes for families. Those were the two biggest supports. And the church, there's a lot of the people in the classes on mental illness talk about the stigma, which is a huge barrier to getting help and being able to live with the situation where you have a family member who has a severe illness which never seems to go away, and people don't understand it, and that person with illness really can't function, and if they do function, it's not in a reasonable way. So I know I came here and told people about it, and they were very supportive. And one member, Elizabeth Whiteside, said, if you get him in treatment, he'll probably do okay. And I kind of hardly believed that at that point, but he did get in treatment, and it was very helpful and encouraging. I mean, little things like that can be very helpful. And other people, I didn't seem to experience the stigma that a lot of people do. They say they can't talk about it to anyone because it's, people don't want to talk about it, they ignore it. But I found each time I mentioned mental illness to someone at church or otherwise, they all knew somebody that had it and were pretty supportive. Well, they may not have understood everything, but they were pretty supportive. And so he got the treatment, and just very gradually, people encouraged him, especially Thea, our associate pastor. She just said, I wish he'd be in the choir. And she visited him once when he was in the hospital, and that was quite an adventure, both for her and for him. But it was something I appreciate. And she said, if he were in the choir, because they're so supportive, but he would go and sit in the back of the room of the sanctuary and not hardly talk and not really interact or respond much. But gradually he became more open, and eventually one day, I said, I have to go to choir practice, and he was with me. I said, you'll just wait in the pew until I'm done. You can watch it. So he did, and like a couple weeks later, he said, I'm going to be in the choir. So he started to go to practice, and he's gradually learned to read music and perform, and he's gotten involved in other activities in church. I think he's going to be in our upcoming Agape Meal performance, which is really exciting to me. And so I'm so happy that he's starting to build a network of his own friends, and it frees me a little bit up to do my own things, have my own friends and more activities, and not only to be dealing with his illness. And after I appreciated NAMI, taught the family-to-family classes for several years, and then I decided, this is really important work. And the person who seems to be the most key in the treatment is the social worker, who was able to link him with whatever treatment is available. And there wasn't a whole lot, but whatever there was, she linked him with it. So I decided I'm going to go back to OSU and get a degree in social work and become a social worker. So I did that. Got a master's in social work and worked in community health, community mental health for 5 years. So I could actually see how other people with lifelong mental illnesses, how they function, how they get along, what helps, what doesn't help. And that was helpful. It gave me some confidence that people can live with these illnesses and the treatment does help. But it's a long, slow thing, but they can live and they can enjoy their lives. So that was encouraging. And then I went into independent practice. I wanted to do a little more than just like the case management. So I helped treat people with mainly with results of trauma, PTSD, and was the main focus that I did, because the schizophrenia that my son had isn't particularly helpful. Just counseling is somewhat helpful, but not very. But other kinds of mental illnesses are the counseling is extremely helpful, especially the results of trauma. So I appreciated learning the skills and doing that until I retired. And now I'm happy that he is able to enjoy his life, and I do too, and I really am grateful to the church for all they have done for me and for him